Now let's learn how to make the sleeves. It is divided into Section 1, Section 2 and Section 3. Section 1 uses the foundation chain method to start, and we work back and forth in rows. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. Start with a chain. The number of stitches for the swatch is random. I've already prepared the starting chain in advance. Then we move on to crochet the first row. First, make one chain to start. Begin from the second to last stitch. Pick up the front loop and correspondingly make 2 single crochets. Make 1 chain. Skip 1 stitch, then make 1 single crochet. We will treat these 2 single crochets and 1 chain as pattern A. Continue with 4 chains. Skip 3 stitches. Then make 1 bobble stitch. Four chains. Skip 3 stitches and crochet pattern A. For the rest of this row, alternate every 3 skipped stitches with bobble stitches in pattern A, connecting them with 4 chains as a transition. Finish this row. After completing the last pattern A, make 1 single crochet. Row 1 is completed. Move on to row 2. Start with 3 chains as the beginning chain. Chain 1 as a connection. Turn the work over. Crochet 2 bobble stitches in the middle hole of pattern A. Chain 1 as a transition between them. After completing, chain 2. Work 1 single crochet on the previous row's bobble stitch. Chain 2. On the left side, crochet 3 bobble stitches in the hole of pattern A. Chain 1 as a transition between them. We will treat the stitches crocheted in the hole as one pattern B. Consider this as pattern B. This row alternates between single crochets and pattern B correspondingly, with a transition of 2 chains between them. Repeat this process to finish the row. After completing with the final 2 chains, crochet 2 bobble stitches in the hole of pattern A, chain 1 as a transition between them. After completing, chain 1. Work 1 double crochet on the ending single crochet. The second row is completed. We will consider the side with clearer texture of this row as the right side of the entire piece. This will be the right side of the whole fabric piece. Continue crocheting back and forth for subsequent rows. Pay attention to refer to the pattern for insertion position. After completing the 4th row, you can take a measurement of the dimensions. Compare it with the data provided in the chart. If there's a significant difference, mindfully adjust your crochet tension and recrochet. At the beginning and ending of the 5th row, skip 1 stitch without crocheting. That is, after making the beginning chain, start crocheting from the 2nd stitch. Leave the last stitch unworked at the end. Everyone, remember to crochet by referring to the pattern. Don't make a mistake. After completing the final row, break the yarn. Everyone should finish it. That concludes section 1. Next, let's learn section 2. Crochet back and forth on section 1. The new stitch technique used is the 1/2 LCDC. The 1/2 RCDC. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start with the 1st row. On the right side of the fabric, join the yarn in the turning chain of the last row from section 1. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same stitch. In the next 2 stitches on the left and 1 chain space. Work 1 single crochet in each. Work 2 single crochets in the next chain space. Work 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Work 2 single crochets in the next space. Pick up stitches from pattern A, and work 3 single crochets correspondingly. Follow the technique after the 2nd chain space. Repeat the pattern. Pay attention to refer to the chart. Work 3 single crochets in the middle chain space. The sample swatch has fewer stitches here. Position is random. Work single crochets evenly into each stitch for the ending. Check the stitch count after completion. Row 1 is completed. Move on to row 2. Start with 3 chains as the beginning chain. Turn your work. Work 7 double crochets correspondingly. Next is the 1/2 RCDC. This will be referred to as the 1/2 RCDC. Skip 1 stitch and work 2 double crochets. Then insert the hook from behind into the skipped stitch, and work 1 double crochet. You can slightly enlarge the loop here. The 1/2 RCDC is completed. You can turn it over to check. On the right side, you'll see the texture of the double crochet that was hooked with the insertion on the left side, appearing on top. It matches the chart. Next, work the 1/2 LCDC. This will be referred to as the 1/2 LCDC. Skip 2 stitches first. Work 1 double crochet. Then pick up the skipped stitch from the front and correspondingly make 2 double crochets. Pay attention that the already crocheted stitch should be placed behind. The 1, 2 LCDC is completed. Similarly, turn it over to check. The double crochet hooked on the right side appears on top. It matches the chart. Later, when crocheting on the wrong side for these 2 stitches, follow this process. Refer to the pattern and crochet in sequence, mindful that each single double crochet is on the right side. Continue crocheting 6 double crochets. A 1/2 RCDC. First, skip 1 stitch, and make 2 double crochets. Then pick up the skipped stitch from behind, and crochet 1 double crochet. The 1/2 RCDC is completed. Continue with 1.5 LCDC. First, skip 2 stitches and make 1 double crochet. Then pick up the skipped stitch from the front, and make 2 double crochets. The 1/2 LCDC is completed. Continue crocheting a group of crossing stitch. Complete this row. After finishing the last double crochet at the ending, row 2 is completed. Continue with row 3. Start with 2 chains as beginning chains. Turn your work. Begin from the left stitch, and correspondingly make double crochets into the continuous double crochets. When you reach the crossing stitch position, first, crochet a 1/2 RCDC. Here on the right side, follow the pattern chart sequence for crocheting. Skip 2 stitches first, then make 1 double crochet. Then pick up the 2 skipped stitches from behind, and correspondingly make double crochets. The 1/2 RCDC is completed. Continue with a 1/2 LCDC. Skip 1 stitch and make 2 double crochets correspondingly. Then pick up the skipped stitch from the front, and make 1 double crochet. The 1/2 LCDC is completed. These 4 crossing stitches create this texture. Continue making double crochets correspondingly into the continuous double crochets. Crochet such crossing stitches at the crossing stitch positions. Finish crocheting this row. At the ending, make 1 double crochet decrease. The 3rd row is completed. Continue working back and forth afterward. The fabric creates an effect of staggered crossing textures. Pay attention to the beginning and ending skipped stitches in the last row. Fasten off the yarn after completion. Everyone refer to the chart to finish it. This concludes the explanation of section 2. Next, let's learn section 3. Crochet from right to left on section 2. You need to switch colors during the process. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start with the first row. Continue on the last row of the right side of section 2. Join the yarn at the first single crochet stitch. Make 2 chains to start. Crochet 1 half double crochet in the left stitch. Then, in the middle of the left 2 stitches, crochet 1 half double crochet. Here you can use the invisible decrease method to crochet. Yarn over. Pick up the front loop of the first stitch. That is, the strand of the stitch closest to you. Then pick up the front loop of the left stitch. And then complete the half double crochet. This completes this special half double crochet. Continue to refer to the pattern and pick up stitches to crochet the corresponding number of half double crochets. The stitch count in the swatch is random here. Then use the invisible decrease method again to crochet 1 half double crochet, yarn over, pick up the front loops of the 2 left stitches in sequence. Complete the half double crochet. Follow this method, refer to the pattern and finish crocheting this row. After completing, check the stitch count. Mind that the turning chain also counts as 1 stitch. Row 1 is completed. Break the yarn. For the rest of the rows, crochet from right to left. Join a new yarn at the beginning of each row, fasten off and weave in ends at the end. The technique is similar to the front piece hem. Please complete it. That concludes section 3. The entire sleeve has now been explained. Next, we will learn how to join. Here, we work on the wrong side. Insert the hook into the fabric edge and make single crochets. Use a method with 3 chains as a bridge in between. First, place the front and back pieces with right sides facing each other. Match up the shoulder positions. You can use a stitch marker to secure it here. If you don't have a stitch marker, use 0 yarn to hold it in place. For the specific joining method, refer to the demonstration in the video below. Take the right front piece as an example. Pay attention. Left and right front refer to the actual left and right when wearing. Place the right front piece and the back piece with right sides together. The wrong side will be on the outside. You can start joining from either side. Overlap and align the shoulders. This swatch is the back piece. This one is the right front piece. We'll start from the edge here. Continue joining until you reach this double crochet position. On the back piece, this is the double crochet position. Insert the hook under a few strands of both fabric edges. Join the yarn. Work 1 chain. Work 1 single crochet at the joining point. Then work 2-3 chains. I'm going to chain 3 here. Leave a small interval. Insert the hook under a few strands of the fabric edge. Continue with 1 single crochet. This interval is roughly the same as the length of the chains. Make sure the piece doesn't shrink after completing it. And when you encounter carrying yarn across, wrap the carried yarn into the stitches. For joining, alternate with 1 single crochet, 2-3 chains. Complete the joining for this edge. After finishing, break the yarn. Once the shoulder is joined, take the sleeve. Similarly, keep the wrong side facing out. Join the side seam of the sleeve. While joining, pay attention. Use the yarn from section 1 to join section 1. After completing, fasten off the yarn. Then use the yarn from section 2 to join the side seams of section 2 and section 3. The insertion position can be adjusted according to the actual situation. Ensure that the fabric pieces align evenly. For specific joining methods, refer to the demonstration in the video below. Below is a demonstration of how to connect 2 fabric pieces using single crochets and chains. Place the 2 fabric pieces with right sides together and wrong sides facing out. Overlap the pieces as needed. Insert the hook into the starting chain of both corner positions. Join the yarn. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same position. Then chain for transition. The number of chains should follow the chart. Here, chain 3. Next, insert the hook into the left position. Pay attention to inserting the hook through both fabric pieces at the same time. Work 1 single crochet. Then chain for transition again. Next, insert the hook through both fabric pieces simultaneously. Work a single crochet. Continue with chains and single crochets. Make sure the front and back pieces are aligned. Avoid any misalignment. The insertion point for the single crochet is not fixed. As long as during the crocheting process, the fabric piece remains flat, that's fine. Continue to join the entire edge. Once completed, cut the yarn. This completes the joining of this edge. This is what the right side looks like. After completing, refer to the structure diagram, and leave space for the armhole position. Secure it with a stitch marker. Join the side edges of the front and back pieces under the arm. The method is the same as joining the sleeves. Pay attention that the yarn used for the hem is different from the body part. After completion, match the sleeves with the corresponding underarm positions of the front and back pieces. Match the middle position of the last row of the sleeve with the shoulder joining point. Secure a few more points in the middle for stability. Then, follow the previous method to pick up stitches along the edges for joining. Pay attention to adjusting the insertion position while joining. Ensure the fabric pieces align evenly. Once everyone has completed the joining, flip the right side out. That concludes the explanation of the joining process. Next, we will learn how to crochet the edging. Start with crocheting the edging for the cuffs, hem edging and overall edging. Start with crocheting the cuff. Crochet in rounds around the joined cuff area. The new stitch technique used here is 2 crossed single crochet. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet method. Begin with the first round. Here, I will use a small sample for demonstration. Locate the joining position on the right side of the sleeve. Join the yarn at the insertion point of the second single crochet on the left side. This is the spot right here. Chain 1 to start. Work 1 single crochet in the same stitch. Work 1 single crochet in the left chain space. Later, correspondingly make 2 single crochets in the next 3 chain space. Work 1 single crochet in the 1 chain space. Continue working in this way. After completing the last single crochet in the 1 chain space, work 1 single crochet in the insertion point of the left single crochet. You can check the stitch count if needed. Then work 1 slip stitch in the starting single crochet stitch to join. The joining slip stitch doesn't count as 1 stitch. Pull tight. That's how you complete the first round. Continue to crochet the second round. Start with 1 chain as your beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the spot where the slip stitch was inserted below. Then pick up stitches and work single crochets evenly. Finish with a slip stitch. The second round is complete. The third round is worked in the same way as the second round. Everyone can now complete it. Below, I will demonstrate the fourth round. Start with 1 chain as your beginning chain. Then work a 2 crossed single crochet. First, work 1 single crochet in the stitch on the left. Next, insert your hook into the slip stitch position and work 1 single crochet. Wrap the previous single crochet stitch inside. You can crochet slightly looser if you prefer. The 2 crossed single crochet is now complete. Continue to work another 2 crossed single crochet. Skip 1 stitch and work 1 single crochet. Then insert your hook into the skipped stitch and work 1 single crochet. Pay attention to wrapping it properly. The 2 crossed single crochet is now complete. Follow this technique to complete the entire round. End with a slip stitch. Cut the yarn. Hide the ends on the wrong side. That concludes the edging for the cuffs. Next, we will learn about the front band. Along the edges of the front pieces and the neckline of the back piece, work back and forth. Follow the crocheting method demonstrated. Please watch as I show you the specific crochet technique. Start with the first row. Here, I will demonstrate using a sample swatch. Locate the starting point of the right front piece. Join the yarn in the chain corresponding to the beginning stitch. Make one chain as your beginning chain. Work one single crochet in the same position. Then pick up the edge stitches and work single crochets. Work single crochets along the back neckline as well. Refer to the small arrows on the pattern chart for exact stitch placement. Insert the hook symmetrically on the other side. You can adjust the specific insertion points if needed. Ensure the total number of stitches matches the chart. Keep the fabric flat and aesthetically pleasing. The stitch placement in this sample swatch is random. If you encounter any yarn tails that haven't been woven in yet, weave them in together at this point. After finishing the last row of the hem, work the first single crochet on the edge. For the second stitch, start with an incomplete single crochet, insert the hook, draw the yarn through. Then take the same yarn from the body section. Switch colors to perform the yarn change. Pull the yarn through. Adjust slightly. This completes the color change. Continue crocheting using the newly switched yarn. Leave a bit of tail on the original yarn and fasten off. Crochet all the way to the end of the first row, on the other side of the body at the side edge position. Then switch colors using the same method. Finish crocheting this row. That completes the first row. Continue working back and forth while referring to the pattern chart. After completing the last row, fasten off the yarn. Everyone can now finish it. That concludes the explanation of the front band. Next, we'll learn how to crochet the edging for the hem. Work back and forth along the edges of the completed front band, and the foundation chains of the front and back pieces. Crochet back and forth on the sides of the front band and where the front, back pieces began. Join yarn at the side edge of the left front band for the first row. Crochet single crochets correspondingly. You can refer to the chart for the specific stitch picking pattern. Pay attention that the total number of stitches should be even. Continue working back and forth, matching up with the corresponding stitch techniques. Finally, fasten off the yarn. Everyone can now finish it. That concludes the explanation of crocheting the hem edging. Lastly, learn how to crochet the entire border. Work one round of 2 crossed single crochet along the hem and front band edges. At the hem corners, work 1 chain. Here, I'll demonstrate the technique for crocheting along the side of the hem using a small sample. Join the yarn and start with a beginning chain. Crochet 1, 2, crossed single crochet along the side of the half double crochet. You can insert the hook into the corresponding stitch to continue crocheting. Continue picking up stitches at the corresponding positions and crocheting. When you reach the ending position, work 1 chain. Start with a slip stitch at the initial stitch. Here, we'll bind off for a neat appearance. Do not pull the slip stitch too tight. Stretch the loop larger. Leave a 10 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Pull the yarn through the stitch to the left of the slip stitch position. Then, draw the yarn through to the wrong side, from the chain where the yarn tail is located. Adjust as needed. The binding off is now complete. Weave in the yarn tails to finish. That's it for the explanation of crocheting around the edges. The edging has been fully explained. Finally, let's learn about decorations. It includes decorative bands, motif pieces, tassels, buttons and lace trims. These are the parts we will cover. Let's start with the decorative band. It involves fixing the fabric piece at both ends. We will start from foundation chain, and work back and forth to crochet the rope. Then work back and forth to secure the fabric piece at one end. Next, crochet a braid. After completing it, pick up stitches, and work back and forth to secure the fabric piece at the other end. Finally, attach it to the position of the front band or neckline. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start the rope for the braid with a chain. The exact number of chains can be referenced from the chart. If you're worried about not having enough length, you can cast on more stitches. Then work back and forth in single crochets. Keep crocheting all the way to the end of the chain. Do not cut the yarn after completing it. Everyone should complete the 3 ropes needed. The stitch count for the swatch here is random. Then place the ropes with the textured right side facing up. Align the ends without the yarn tails. Take the corresponding yarn to secure the fabric piece. Join the yarn at one end of the rope on the far right. There are no specific requirements for the arrangement of the ropes. You can decide based on your preference. Join the yarn at the insertion point on the edge. Chain 1 is the beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same stitch position. Work another single crochet in the stitch position. Then, at the other end of each rope, work 2 single crochets respectively. The first row is now complete. Continue working back and forth for the following rows. Finally, leave a 5 cm tail, and cut the yarn. Weave in all the yarn tails to hide them. This fixes one end of the crochet piece. Now, start crocheting the braid. Make sure the right side texture always faces up. Keep the tension loose enough. For convenience while crocheting, you can leave a little of the yarn tail and cut it off. While crocheting, you can match it with the positions of the front band and collar. The ends should roughly correspond to the starting points of the front and chest pieces. The sample swatch is shorter in length. Everyone, please pay attention to your actual project as the reference. If the rope is too long, you can take apart the corresponding stitches. Leave about 3 extra chains and cut off the yarn. Unravel the yarn. Handle the remaining ropes in the same way. After finishing the braiding, crochet the fixing piece on the other end next. The method is the same as for the starting end. Refer to the previous demonstration to complete it. Remember to leave more than twice the length of thread at the end for sewing. Everyone, take a look. This is the finished effect of the decoration band. Next, you need to fix it in the centered position above the front band and collar. The sample swatch here does not include crocheting around the edges. Pay attention to your actual project as the reference. For the decorative element, find the centered position of this color. And you can secure it with a stitch marker. Thread the reserved yarn tail into a darning needle. Secure it to the front band. When picking up stitches on the front band, try to pick up the surface yarns as much as possible. This will make the sewing look neat and attractive. You can sew it in the center if you like. Or you can also sew from both sides. Just secure it well according to your preference. After securing, tie a knot on the wrong side, and weave in the ends. That's how the decoration band is completed. Next, let's learn how to make decorative motifs. There are two of them. Both use the magic ring method to start. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. You will need to switch colors during the process. Finally, secure it on top of the fixed fabric piece of the decoration band. The new stitch technique used here is single crochet increase. Please watch the demonstration. Start with a magic ring. After that, work the first round. Begin by making 1 chain. Work 6 single crochets into the ring. After that, close the magic ring. Finish with a slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch. The first round is complete. We will consider the side with clearer texture as the right side. Continue to crochet the second round. Start by making 1 chain. Work a single crochet increase into the slip stitch join spot from the previous round. That is, work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Secure the yarn tails together at the same time. Single crochet increase completed. Continue picking up stitches, and correspondingly make single crochet increases. Finish crocheting this round. End with a slip stitch. The second round is complete. Break the yarn. Trim any remaining yarn tails that haven't been secured. Finally, crochet the third round. Join the yarn at the stitch position of the first single crochet from the first round. That is, the hole on the left side of the starting chain position. Slightly stretch the loop. Chain 1 to begin. Work 1 single crochet in the same position. Remember to enlarge the loop. Weave in the second round. Continue with 4 chains. Then pick up the stitches from the first round, and work single crochets evenly. Transition with 4 chains in between. After completing, crochet 4 chains. Finish with a slip stitch at the starting stitch. Leave a 20 cm tail and break the yarn. That's how you complete the motif. Sew the motif onto the fixed fabric piece of the decorative strap. Try to cover the fixed fabric piece as much as possible. Secure it using the reserved yarn tail. Place one chain space at the centered position below. After completing, tie off and weave in the ends neatly. Attach the other motif to the other end using the same method. Complete this step, everyone. That concludes the tutorial for the decorative motifs. Now let's make tassels. We will make a total of 2. Each tassel consists of parts like the tassel cap, hanging string, and assembly. For the tassel cap, we use the magic ring method to start. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The crochet technique is similar to the first 2 rounds of the decorative motif. Pay attention not to tighten the ring too much when closing the starting loop. Then continue crocheting evenly in rounds without increasing or decreasing. Make sure the right side faces out. At the end, leave a 10 cm yarn tail for binding off. Here, I'll demonstrate the method with a small sample. After completing, hide the yarn tails inside. That's it for crocheting the tassel cap. Next, crochet the hanging loop and assemble it. Start by crocheting the hanging string. Take the corresponding yarn. First, leave a tail that is more than 3 times the length of the hanging loop. Refer to the chart for the exact length. The length of the sample is random. Locate the decorative motif. Join the yarn in the centered chain space below it. Then, place the reserved tail over the hook from front to back. Yarn over and pull through together. Continue placing the yarn on the hook. Don't make it too tight here. Pull through. Repeat this crochet technique. Keep going until you reach the desired length. The length of the sample is random. Finally, pull through all loops together. Leave a 10 cm tail and cut the yarn. This completes the hanging loop. Next, thread the tail of the hanging string into a darning needle. Pass it through one wooden bead. The bead colors for the sample are random. This is a tassel cap. If it's too tight here, you can adjust the position a bit. Below, we will make the tassel fringe. Cut a piece of cardboard that is 5 cm long. For this sample, paper is used instead of cardboard. Take out the corresponding yarn. You can refer to the chart for specific colors here. Or choose according to your own preference. The amount of each color used can also be adjusted as you like. Wrap 30 loops around the cardboard. You can also wrap more if you prefer. Then secure it with the tail of the hanging string. Cut it open. Adjust it inside the tassel cap. Tidy it up neatly. That completes one tassel. Make the other one using the same method. Next, let's make the buttons. There are buttonholes and purl buttons. A total of 3 pairs. The bottom pair should roughly align with the first row of the hem edging. The top pair is approximately at the center position of the front body. The middle pair is centered. Create the buttonholes on the right front band around the 4th row. Sew the purl buttons on the symmetrical positions on the other side. You can mark the positions according to your preference first. The crochet technique for the buttonholes is similar to that of the hanging loop. Pick up 2 threads at the appropriate position and join the yarn. Then, chain the stitches. Chain about 8 stitches. You can try it with the purl button. Finally, leave a 15 cm tail, and break the yarn. Attach it to the starting point. Weave in the ends. Securely sew the purl buttons on the other side. Finally, fasten them properly. Everyone can now complete it. That concludes the explanation of the buttons. Lastly, attach the tassel lace trim on the last row of the front body hem and the first row of section 3 of the sleeves. Secure the tassel lace trim in these positions respectively. Here, I will demonstrate the sewing method using the sleeve as an example. First, take out the lace trim. Place the tassel underneath, with the right side facing out. Burn one end slightly to seal the edge. To prevent fraying. Cut a piece of corresponding yarn. Thread one strand through a thin needle. Tie a knot at the yarn end. Secure the thread at the joining position of the first row of section 3 on the sleeve. The lace trim should cover the first row. Sew along the upper edge. Pay attention to the middle line of the fabric. Make sure the lace trim lies flat as much as possible. Keep the elasticity of the fabric while sewing. The gaps here for sewing can be adjusted according to your preference. Once done, trim off the excess parts. Burn the edges to seal them. Sew it together with the starting point. Then sew along the bottom edge next. Use the same method as for the top part. Everyone, complete this step. Finally, tie off and weave in the ends. Use the same method to sew and secure the lace trim on the front piece. That concludes the explanation of attaching tassels and lace trims. The decorations have also been fully explained. Up to this point, the entire garment has been thoroughly explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family. Supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.